We're talking with Johnny Erickson-Tata and Michael Easley, and we're talking about suffering, something that we don't usually talk about in polite circles, all right? But the fact is it biblical? And I'd like to put some verses on the table for us just to gaze at, and then I'm going to ask Michael some questions. Here are the verses. Philippians 1:29, for it has been granted to you on behalf of Christ to suffer for him. Those who suffer according to God's will, listen, according to God's will, should commit themselves to their faithful Creator and continue to do good. One more, 1 Peter 4. Dear friends, do not be surprised at the painful trial you are suffering, as though something strange were happening to you. But rejoice that you participate in the sufferings of Christ, so that you may be overjoyed when His glory is revealed. Now, Michael, in light of these verses, let's talk about the Apostle Paul and see if this carries over. God called the Apostle Paul to be in charge of bringing the gospel to the Gentiles, to covering the empire, and gave them this high position, and he wrote most of our New Testament, okay? Take us back to the actual calling of what God said to him.
You remember he's persecuting Christians with license from the Jew to do this, and he struck blind on the road to Damascus. In the meantime, a prophet named Ananias is minding his own prophet business, and God comes to him and says, I want you to go to Damascus to a street called Straight, and now you're going to find a man named Saul, and you are to tell him that he's a chosen instrument of mine, you'll give him his sight, so forth. And Ananias, you got to love the character. He says, Lord, have you heard about this guy? Paraphrase. Have you heard what he's done to your saints? And the injunction is, go, for he is a chosen servant, an elected, picked servant of mine. And then he says, I will show him how much he must suffer for my name's sake.
Yeah, good news and the bad news.
And I don't want to sign up for that one. I want prosperity and wealth and fame, not suffering 101, 102, 103. And so as he goes to deliver that message, of course, Paul, regains his sight, but we hear the stories as acts unfolds where he's bound and he's chained. He goes through all sorts of difficulties and trials. So it's a un-American view of the gospel that you're going to suffer to serve me for a greater cause.